In this video, we will take a look at the Web Access Control feature included in EPDR. We will discuss what Web Access Control is and why to use it. Then we will cover how to configure Web Access Control and how to test it. Let's get started. Web Access Control, as the name suggests, enables administrators to control the websites that users have access to. You can block websites based on their category, so you do not need to create a long list of denied domains. However, if you want, you can also block specific domains or allow domains that are in a blocked category. So, why might you want to use Web Access Control? Many companies have usage policies for their computers that specify types of websites that users are not allowed to access from company hardware. This might be for security reasons, such as blocking access to VPN software, or to prevent access to inappropriate material. Schools in particular have a duty to make sure that students can only access websites that are appropriate. You might already have a WatchGuard firebox with WebBlocker or a third-party solution at the perimeter of your network that denies websites based on categories. This will work well for any endpoints located on that network, but Web Access Control in EPDR will continue to deny access to websites even when the user is working from home or on a public network. Speaking of WebBlocker, this is a security service on WatchGuard fireboxes that can also block website access by category. You might be wondering how Web Access Control and WebBlocker work when both are in use in a network. Simply put, the blocked categories from both will be combined. Let's say I am blocking the shopping and travel categories in Web Access Control and blocking the sports and vehicles categories in WebBlocker. A user will not be able to reach websites in any of these categories while they're in the network. Of course, if the endpoint is not on the corporate network, only the categories blocked by Web Access Control will be denied. Web Access Control is not enabled by default. Like the firewall and device control protections in EPDR, Web Access Control exists within the last layer of protection that an administrator must configure themselves. Every environment is different, and you must consider whether you need this protection or not. Now that we know more about Web Access Control, let's take a look at how to configure it. Here I am in the EPDR dashboard, and I will start by clicking Settings at the top. Web Access Control is inside the Workstations and Servers category, so I will edit the video settings I have configured here. As a reminder, if I expand General, this is where I can enable or disable the alerts users will receive when they try to navigate to a blocked website, and I can add a custom message if I want to. Now I will expand Web Access Control and enable the feature. The first decision to make is whether I want Web Access Control to always be enforced, or if I prefer, I can disable it during specific times. Maybe I only want to enforce these settings during office hours, and maybe I want to allow users to access these categories during lunch as well. The time zone configured on the endpoint is used when applying these schedules. Next, I can choose the categories that I want to block. In this case, I will select Shopping, YouTube, and Travel. I can also enable this toggle to prevent access to websites that are not yet categorized. This will usually be newly created websites. Finally, I can add any specific domains that I want to allow or block. As you can see, we automatically add several Windows Update domains, so they will not be blocked even if you deny their category. I will add the example.org domain to the block list, so my users will be unable to reach this website. Now that I have enabled and applied my Web Access Control settings, let's take a look at one of the computers in my account. We can see the agent has updated itself, and Web Access Control is now showing as enabled. If I jump over to that computer, I can test Web Access Control by attempting to navigate to a blocked website or category. I have blocked the shopping category, so I will try to reach walmart.com using HTTP. Since I used HTTP, you can see the agent has redirected the user to a block page inside the browser. Now I will try navigating to Amazon.com over HTTPS. In this case, we cannot redirect the browser due to TLS, so the connection to the website is reset and the user receives the alert in the corner. Finally, I denied the domain example.org, so if I try to navigate to that website, you can see it is blocked as well. If I go back to EPDR, I can review the Web Access dashboard to see more information about the categories of websites my users are accessing. Please note that new data on this dashboard is not displayed in real time. It might take a few hours to show up. This data is also only collected if Web Access Control is enabled on the endpoint. I can click on a category or computer to get more information, but I only see the categories here, not the specific websites the user attempted to reach. The agent on the endpoint does record all of the websites the user accesses, but it is not viewable. If you need to review this data, please reach out to WatchGuard support and we can help you retrieve it. If you want to look up the category that a website belongs to, or if the category is incorrect and you want to request a change, you can do that on the WatchGuard security portal. Here I am on the WatchGuard homepage, and I can hover over Support to find the link to the security portal. Under the Web Blocker section, I will click Cloud Database. And here I can either perform a category lookup or request that a category be changed. For example, if I look up Netflix.com, you can see it belongs to the streaming media category. Category change requests will update the category for both Web Blocker and Web Access Control. That will do it for Web Access Control. We looked at how this feature can be used to deny access to different categories of websites and individual domains. We discussed the differences between Web Access Control and Web Blocker, and how Web Access Control will work no matter where the user is located. You can schedule when Web Access Control is enforced if you want to allow access to everything at specific times or days. We reviewed the Web Access dashboard and the information you can find in it. If you need to review more detailed information about the websites and endpoint visited, reach out to WatchGuard support. Finally, you can use the WatchGuard security portal to look up the category of websites and request changes when needed.